welcome our blood viewers to RTD's News English edition. As usual, we bring to you the major and top highlights of tonight. The head of state chairs the 18th session of the Council of Ministers. And on the international scene, Israeli tanks at the gates of Al Shifa Hospital. Israel called for restraint. Those were our top and major highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. Under the presidency of Head of State and Head of Government, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh took place this Tuesday, November 14, the 18th session of the Council of Ministers. 5 texts were examined and approved. Let's listen to the report that was given by the government spokesman, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf.
Sous la présidence du chef de l'État, Son Excellence M. Ismail Omar Guelleh, s'est tenue la 18e séance du Conseil des ministres en ce mardi 14 novembre 2023.
Ministry of Economy and Finance in charge of industry. The first question, draft laws approving the financial account of the Djibouti Economic Development Fund for fiscal years 2022, 2021, 2019 and 2018. The Council of Ministers examined for approval the financial account of the FDED for fiscal years 2022 and clearly the financial account of this financial institution for previous fiscal year. The FDED's financial accounts for the 2022 financial year show income of 476 million and expenses of 447 million with a positive result of 29 million. Income for the years will increase from 239 million in 2021 to 477 million in 2022. This increase is due to higher other operating income. The government subsidies and exceptional income expenses for the year fell to 447 million in 2022 from 464 million in 2022. In 2022, the FDED implemented a receivable collection policy which resulted in an increase in its cash position. As a result, available funds will rise from 68 million in 2021 to 309 million in 2022. The Council of Ministers has approved the FDED's financial account for the 2022 financial year, as well as for previous financial years from 2018 and to 2021. Presidency of the Republic. The second question, draft decree setting the fees for services provided by the National Agency for Information of the State. The purpose of the draft decree is to set the fees for services provided by the agency national of the information systems of state on an agreement basis for the benefit of public and semi-public institutions. The proposed fee schedule comprises 6 main categories of services and benefits as follows: communication and electronic collaboration, internet protocol, telephony, hosting in a national data center or data center, applications for public administration and institutions, consulting and technical assistance to public institutions, support for network and information system security. Since its creation, ANSI has offered several services aimed at creating, securing, and implementing the infrastructure required for the digital transformation of public administration. It also contributes to the support and training of administrative staff in public establishments on the various digital teams. The adoption of the draft decree is part of the implementation of ANSI's new service quality and sustainability policy to ensure minimal cost recovery. Ministry of Higher Education and Research, the third question, draft decree approving the financial provisional budget of the University of Djibouti for 2024 financial year. The provisional budget of the University of Djibouti is presented in balance between income and expenses at the sum of 4,272 million. The university's budget increases by more than 3% compared with the budget for the previous fiscal year 2023. The budget breaks down into the operating budget of over 3.9 billion and investment budget of nearly 339 million, with a student budget of 1,788, including 4,100 125 new baccalaureate holders. The University of Djibouti plans to continue the process of professionalizing its courses in 2024, accrediting new courses, in particular ABIT accreditation board for engineering and technology, certification for the Faculty of Engineering, introducing new bachelor's courses, and creating 2 masters in IT security and engineering to expand the range of courses on offer. The university also plans to acquire new books, laboratory equipment, and teaching furniture. The fourth question, draft decree approving the provisional budget of the Center of Studies and Research is CERD for 2024. The 2024 provisional budget of the CERD is presented in balance between income and expenses at the sum of 1,252 million. The CERD budget represents an increase of over 38% compared with the budget for the previous financial year 2023. The budget comprises an operating budget of over 771 million and an investment budget of almost 463 million. As part of its operating budget, CERD plans to recruit 10 researchers for its various institutes. It's also planning to invest in a capacity buildings for the center's equipment, in the construction of a building for the laboratories, and in the rehabilitation of access roads and the building housings of the Institute of Medicinal Research. The Minister of Budget, the fifth question is the project of attributions of the land for the profit of the Saba African Bank. The draft decree concerned the allocations of 4.6 hectares plot of land in Balbala Pika 12 north to Saba African Bank. The plot is intended for the constructions of a real estate project. The adoption of the project is in line with the promotions of private investment and the improvement of access to housing. Communication, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation government spokesman reported on the participation of the delegation led by His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, President of the Republic, Head of Government, in the work of the first Saudi Arab African Summit and the extraordinary Arab Islamic Summit held respectively from November 10 to 11, 2023 in Riyadh. The Minister of Justice and Penitentiary Affairs in charge of Human Rights reported on his participation in the fourth cycle of Universal Periodic Review held from November 7 to 10 in 2023 in Geneva, Switzerland. The Minister of National Education, Vocational Training reported on his participation in UNESCO's 42nd General Conference held from November 7 to 11, 2023 in Paris, France.
The National Assembly hosted today the Conference of Presidents of Standing Committees and Parliamentary Groups. This conference, which is intended to ratify the transmission of pending texts for examination by the Permanent Committee, was led by the President of the National Hemicycle, Mr. Delita Mohamed Delita. The government was represented by the Prime Minister, Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, and by the Minister of Defense, responsible for relations with Parliament, Mr. Hassan Umar. The members of the Office of the Assembly, the respective presidents of the standing committees, and the parliamentary groups examined the 7 legal texts on the agenda. This include the projects, the bill establishing the new General Statute of Civil Servants, the bill approving the financial accounts of the Urban Rehabilitation and Social Housing Agency, ARILOS, for the 2022 financial year, draft law approving the financial accounts for the 2022 financial year of the Diwan of Waqf Property, draft law adopting the financial accounts of the National Agency for Disabled Persons, AMPH, for the year 2022, finance bill establishing the final regulation of the state budget for the 2022 financial year, finance bill adopting the state amending budget for the 2023 financial year, and finally, the bill approving the financial accounts of the Hydrocarbon Society for the 2022 financial years. At the end of the consultation, the Conference of Presidents validated the program and timetable for the next legislative activities with prior study of the projects in committees. The celebration of the International Day of the African Writer was marked by a conference and a literary meeting which took place in the Ali Sibih CDC, organized by the National Union of Djiboutian Writers, represented by its president, Dr. Musa Suleiman, and its Secretary General. The meeting took place in the presence of the Minister of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibu Mu'min Assowe, in front of an audience of young and very young leaders and loyal subscribers of the Center for Reading and Cultural Animation. Placed in the fair program, the literary meeting aims to celebrate the rich heritage of African literature and to promote the pleasure of reading and writing. Finally, the conference allowed the writers present to share their testimonies and reflections with the public. The lively discussions focused on the impact of their works in contemporary African society. Then the strong delegation led by the Excellency Dr. Hiba Momin Asawi, accompanied by the high authorities of the region, went to the village of the Asbio for a first visit to its remains, which form a real cultural heritage. Indeed, a visit to the town of Dasbir is a moment of incredible discoveries and wonder that plunges into the heart of its 1,000-year-old history. During the visit, the delegation explored the depths of the cave, discovering spectacular rock formations and a mystical atmosphere that inspires awe. In partnership with the Center for Leadership and Entrepreneurship, the National Agency for the Disabled, with the technical support from the ADDS, organized entrepreneurship awareness session for young people and women with disabilities in the Ali Sibih Regional Council. The opening ceremony was attended by Mr. Mahdi Ibrahim Hassan, technical advisor to the General Director, Mr. Malyoun Hashi from ADDS, and Mr. Amin Mahmoud, representative of the National Agency for Persons with Disabilities in Ali Sibih. EMPH beneficiaries through entrepreneurship and digital innovation. The aim is to carry out the activities to identify the entrepreneurial potential of young people and women with disabilities, to promote and facilitate the participation of young people and women with disabilities in economic development, and to promote inclusive communication on entrepreneurship among young people and women. A historic moment marked the nation of Djibouti a few days ago. With the successful launch of its first nanosatellite, the Djibouti 1A, applauded nationally. This little technological gem is now in orbit around Earth, ready to take crucial environmental challenges and help understand the issues of climate change. The live images captured from around 500 and 530 kilometers from Earth left the public in awe, testifying to the success of this historic mission. But this is just the beginning, as the Djibouti 1B is already in preparation for its launch in March 2024 after its planned delivery in January of next year. Nanosatellites, by their miniatured nature, open a new era for Djibouti in the space domain. The democratization of space is a key word of this initiative. By launching nanosatellites, Djibouti aims to reduce the cost of space missions thanks to lightweight and less energy-consuming objects. This innovative approach will also facilitate scientific observation, providing crucial data for understanding environmental dynamics. A particularly inspiring dimension of the space adventure is impact on education. By integrating pedagogy with the training of students, doctoral students, and internationals, Djibouti is investing in the next generation of scientists and engineers. These young talents will undoubtedly contribute to the advancement of space research and the development of the nation. By celebrating the success of Djibouti 1A, Djibouti is asserting itself on the world stage as a promising and determined space player. All eyes are on the sky, where Djibouti's future in space looks as bright as the stars shining above this small, dynamic country in the Horn of Africa. As part of the 2035 vision focused on the economic development of the country, the Djibouti Office of Industry and Commercial Property collaborated with the Intellectual Property Organization to organize a workshop dedicated to the promotion of innovative technology entitled CATI. This significant event was held today at the Escale Hotel. This project, aligned with the second Djibouti Here Action Plan, is committed to stimulating the national economy through technological innovations and creativity. With the aim of implementing the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030, the program focuses particularly on professional integration through innovation. During the workshop, they officially signed agreement with two major private companies, creating favorable conditions for job seekers by aligning their skills with market demands. The opening of the event was marked by the speech of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Commerce and Tourism. He highlighted the importance of the initiative and its impact on the economic development of the country, highlighting the objective of this project. In a vibrant show of solidarity in the presence of the Prefect of the Dakhil region, Mr. Hassan Abdi Roble, the head of the Concentrated Services, regional elected representatives and associative movements, the youth of the Unity region gathered at the CDC in Dakhil to respond to the appeal to raise funds for our Palestinian brothers and sisters. This outpouring of generosity initiated by the youth aims to respond to the call for solidarity launched by the President of the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, in favor of the Palestinians in Gaza. This initiative, named a yellow coin for a young person in Gaza, symbolizes the hope and tangible contribution of the community to help young people in Gaza. This gesture of solidarity invites all young people, families, and residents of the region to join in this noble cause and take part in the fundraising campaign. Shifting gears towards our international scene now, Israeli tanks are at the gates of Al-Shifa Hospital, where 10,000 Palestinians, doctors, patients, and displaced persons are cramped together. The United States called on Israel to exercise restraint. Israeli bombardments have claimed dozens more victims and wounded. Here, Palestinians wandered through the rubble of the camp, the wounded, and evacuated to an Indonesian hospital. But it's Al-Shifa Hospital in the north of the Gaza Strip that the situation is most tense. Israeli tanks are massed at the gates of the hospital, where, according to the UN, some 10,000 Palestinians, patients, staff, and people displaced by the fighting are crowded together, or even more, according to local officials. Well, by this, our blood viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening. Take care.